Welcome, and are you ready to drive? I'm ready. Got on my driving glasses. Let's go. Okay, now we gotta take them off because it's way too dark. Welcome to Google Drive Reset Workshop, where I am, over the next 4 weeks, gonna work with you and work on Google Drive and just get a grip on the chaos that might be, probably is, let's face it, while you're here, the chaos that is your files. I am Tracy Patterson of The Confident Click, and I'm here for you. We are, over the next 4 weeks, excuse me, let's have a little reset. Come on in, everybody, come on in. Bring your coffee, your tea, your evening beverage of choice. We're going to relax, we're going to chill, and we're going to take our time over 4 sessions, over 4 weeks, just getting a little grip on Google Drive. We're not looking for perfection, just forget it. Throw that out the window. We're not looking to get perfectly organized. I don't know about you. The minute I get my house perfectly organized, something happens. Someone gets sick, someone's going on vacation, there's a big project, and it all goes away. So we're not looking for that either. But we are looking to make some sense of it. And the way I see it, there are three things to make sense of. First, just getting a grip on Google Drive in general, what that application, what that product looks like, and how to work in it. These are not things that are taught in school. These are things that aren't usually in a job orientation. These are things that we figure out on the way. So let me help you figure it out. We're going to look this week, just looking around and just looking at what that engine, what that space is, and what is all this crap that's in this space and how you can use it. The second part of it is just how to organize your files. Just what kind of order are you going to want to put them in? And that's a really personal decision, actually. I mean, think about it. Your kitchen. How do you have your kitchen organized? It's probably different than how somebody else, one of your parents, or if you have adult children, or your siblings, or your friends, or whatever. I know my adult children, when they've stayed with me, try to reorganize my kitchen to make it better. No, it is my kitchen. It is organized for me, that in a way that works for me. Get out of my kitchen. That's to say, your Google Drive, there's no right way to do it. There's a way to do it that's good for you, that works. And we're going to look at some ways to kind of get your mind around how you want to organize your spices, your spoons, your pots and pans, your files in a way that works for you. Some people are very, very organized and like a rigid structure. Great. Some people uh, kind of get paralyzed from having to make all these decisions, and we need a different system. So we're going to look at that in kind of week 2 and week 3, on March 4th and March 11th. We're going to look at just creating a system. And the third part is going forward. What are the habits? What are the actions, the activities that we need to keep our drive organized or to keep some structure going? Again, it's not going to be perfect. Trust me, my drive, I got a ton of stuff that I just dump in there because I just needed some information. I needed something real quick and I just saved it there. However, I do have a structure where I can put things where it's easy for me to find them. And two, I do have a system of organizing it and a schedule for organizing it. So, again, not perfection, but a system that's going to make it easier. Why? Why are we doing this? Why are you here? Probably. And from the comments that I get from my students and clients is, yes, I have a lot of files. I don't know where anything is. I have to recreate something. If I can't find it, I just do it all over again. That sucks. That's such a time suck. I don't know where things are. I know I did this. I know I made it. I just don't know where it is. We're going to look at having some organization and structure around that because these things that you're creating, they're of value. They're important. And so you want to, need to be able to find them again. Otherwise, again, why would you spend the time creating the flyer, the invoice system, copying all those notes from that really great research you did in ChatGPT, uh, the pictures and the photographs that you have collected that you are going to be using. You want to be able to find this stuff later and not spending 30 minutes finding it or an hour or days. So, organizing your file system is not just an exercise. This is a way for you to be productive later. It's a way for you to be less frustrated later. It's a way for you to uh, get more done. Just get more done and get things done better. SpongeBob would say, to get things done better. So let's dig in. We'll start with a Google Drive intro. Let's look at Google Drive briefly. Then I want to go back and talk about how things fit in. And then we'll go back to Google Drive and look around and see what that landscape looks like. So let's let's go Drive. Let's go Google Drive. We're getting there. Here we go. I have Chrome open. Google Chrome is a web browser. It's just a program that lets you see websites, things on the web. There are other programs that do that too. And you can use Google Drive in any browser. Browser like Microsoft Edge, like uh, Apple Safari, like Firefox. Any browser, any application that you can use to go look at websites, you can use it to access Google Chrome because Chrome is out in the cloud. We're going to come back to that. It's out on the internet. I like and recommend using Google Chrome because it's a Google product and there are a few features that can work better when you use Google Drive and Google Chrome, when you access your Google accounts in Google Chrome. Gonna come back to it, promise. Oh, I have a very sensitive mic. Don't tell it it's bad. It'll get upset. So we have a browser open, a Google Chrome browser, and to go to Google Drive from any browser, there's more than one way to do anything. Not anything. There's more than one way to do many things on the computer. I'm just going to look at one way, not to muddle the issue too much, but if you know how to feel comfortable with how you go to Google Drive already, run that. Use that method. If not, we're going to start with this method. I find easy to teach people. Go to your Gmail account. I am in, going to click in the address bar at the top and type in gmail.com. Let me see if I can. Oops. See? Oh, this is a side note. I mistyped, and this is a whole nother website. Oh, this is gonna go bad. Let me get off of this real quick. They somebody somebody bought the misspelled um the misspelled Gmail, and yeah, that was gonna go to a bad place. So that's to say, one, watch your spelling. Watch your spelling when you're typing in websites. And if by some chance you get to a site that you were not expecting, it doesn't look right, check your spelling. Check and see what you typed in the address bar. But okay, we're gonna go past that. We're gonna go log into I'm gonna log into my Gmail account here because I've logged into it before, and this is likely what you'll see too. The login, the Gmail name is still hanging out in the browser, and so it gives me the browser is giving me Google Chrome is giving me any account that I've already used to log in. It's saying, "Hey, you've used this account before. You want to use that again?" And I do. Otherwise, if this didn't come up, you will get a let's see, you'll get a box that says email address. Let's see, can I pull that up? Let me see if I can pull that up. Yes. So otherwise, you will get this box that pops up in Google Chrome or in your browser window that says email or phone, and you're going to type that in. When you type that in, then it'll say enter your password. Be sure to read that. One says email, one says password. So in this case, I am going to click to log in. In this case, I am using my computer, and I have it set automatically to log in with something called a passkey. But that's something we can go into later. Or if you want to ask about, that's a topic that we can cover. Typically, you'll get what I showed you before, a box that says sign in and want you to type in your email address, and a box that says what's your password. Now that I'm logged into my Gmail account, I'm going to go to Google Drive. Over, can we make this bigger? In the upper right corner, first you'll see the logo, a logo for you, for your user account. And a lot of times it'll just be the first, it'll be one letter, the letter of the first letter of your email address. It might have your picture. Next to it is your button for your Google Apps. It's a square made up of 9 dots. If I click that, I will see Google Drive as one of the Google apps that I can use. If you don't see Drive right away, you need to scroll down. So we can use this scroll bar to scroll down, or you can use your scroll wheel on your mouse. You're going to use that wheel, and you're going to scroll down until you find Google Drive. So we found Google Drive right here. I'm going to click it. And I now have access to my Google Drive. All right. Let me make sure I don't want any calls right now. This, of course. Do I ever get calls this time of day? No. Will I today? Yes. All right. Now, Google Drive is where I have stored a lot of files. So let's go back and talk. In broad terms, what is all of this stuff that we're talking about with Google Drive? I am, let's go back. Let's see. You have files. You create things on your computer, all kinds of things. You create documents, flyers, invoices. If you're creating, you might open up a spreadsheet and create a budget. When you take pictures with your phone, the phone is taking in that data. So it is something that's being created. And every time you create something, all of that information that you have created in that application gets saved in a container called a file. Files that you create with Word are documents called documents. Files you create in spreadsheets, in a spreadsheet application are called spreadsheets. Files that are created maybe with your phone's camera are images, and they can go by specific uh, specific identification of a JPEG or a PNG file or BMP. Those are all different types of image files. If you record video, you're going to end up with a file, a video file that might be a MP4 or MOV. So that's all to say, when you create things, it's saved. That data, when you create things on the computer, that data is saved in a container called a file. Where is it saved? All over the place. It all depends. You might save files on your computer, that thing that is right in front of you. If it's a laptop, um, if it's a desktop, the thing that is physically that you can touch. So kind of think of that as your home. If you're saving files in your home, you might have a small home office and a small file cabinet, and those files are in your possession. They're physically in your space. When you have let's say, for bad analogy's sake, you have a lot of files. And you don't want to keep them all in your home because you're outside. You're running around, you're ripping and running in the streets. You're doing a lot of business. So you want to keep a lot of these files in a central location. So you go to a storage unit and you put several file cabinets in that storage unit where you save the files and you can get access to them. So a storage facility is a big facility. It's got big buildings. It can store just tons and tons and tons of stuff. It could store probably billions and trillions of papers, of files. But the storage unit is divided up into I'm sorry, the storage facility is divided up into units. The units are small and the units are rented out to one person at a time. So only one person, a singular person, can access it. Let's think of the storage facility as cloud storage. They make a lot of space available. It's centrally located, but it is divided up so lots and lots and lots of people can use it all at the same time. Cloud storage, you've heard Google Drive is cloud storage. It's not in your home, it's not in your physical possession, it is out on the internet. It's actually out on big computers called servers and some server farm somewhere in the desert taking water, but we won't talk about that now. Uh, Apple, Apple Cloud, cloud storage, OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive, cloud storage. If you use other services like Dropbox, cloud storage. This is all places where you save files that are out on the internet, centrally located. That means if they're out on the internet, you can access those files from any computer that has access to the internet. Your computer at home has access to the internet, so you can log on to your cloud storage. If you happen to go to a friend's house and you don't have your computer with you, you could log in on their computer. You can log into it on your phone. Your phone has access to the internet, and all of these cloud storage services do have apps on the phone, do have smartphone apps that you can use to access those files. You go, if you are working a job someplace else, you can log in on that computer to your cloud storage, centrally located. But just as the storage facility lets individuals rent a little bit of space, and that space is unique, that space will have a specific unit address. So I know which one's my unit, you know which one's your unit, and we're not opening each other's unit. And each unit will have a lock, or should, if you're smart, you're going to put a lock, a padlock on it, and use a key. So to access your little piece of the internet, your piece of cloud storage, you're going to use your email address. That identifies your space in the cloud, that little piece that you are renting. And we'll come back to that too. Because you're renting it for free, basically, unless you want more space. If you want a bigger unit, then you'll have to pay a little bit. But you use your email address to identify your storage unit, and nobody else can get into your storage unit unless they have your email address. Caveat, of course, nothing is 100% secure. Break-ins do happen. How often? It's hard to know, but uh, it's not prevalent. And you need a key. So to log in to your Google Drive, you're going to use your email address and use the password that you use for your email address. This is why with when you have a Gmail account, and that's how a lot of people get started with Google. They start by creating a Gmail account. So you have a Gmail account with your address. Mine is confidentclickdigital@gmail.com and a password. But when you start a Gmail account, you're actually starting a Google account, because over the years, Google has added more and more services that they offer, and they attach all those services to the account, or all those services are attached to your account. So Google Drive is a service that Google offers. And so is Google Calendar, Google Docs, Google Sheets. If you use any of these, YouTube is a Google service, Google Meet, Gemini, if you're using AI. These are all services that Google provides. And to access any of those services, you need a Google account. What is your Google account? Basically, it's your Gmail address and your Gmail password. That's what you would use to access any of those services. And like we showed before, you log in to any of those services. If they ask you to log in, you use your Gmail address and use the password that is associated with your Gmail address. Now that we've got a little bit of background around Google Drive and what that means to have a Google Drive, let's look at the layout of the land. I am going to make a quick shift because I want this to make sure that this is showing up really nicely in a video, not tiny. So I think we're going to do one more zoom on that. And let's get an arrow, a mouse cursor that is really showing up well. We'll change this pointer size, make it just a little bit bigger. Okay, I like that look. Oh, it's not showing up bigger. Okay, well, we're going with this. Google Drive, when you first open it, you are in the home view, the home setting. One, it's highlighted over here on the right. It's letting you know you're in the home, and it's going to show suggested files. Uh, I know Microsoft does this too. I'm not sure about Apple. I hate the home view. It's kind of trash. It doesn't mean anything. It's supposed to be helpful. Let's ignore it. Don't want to look at the home view because it doesn't show you everything. It tends to show you the most recent, but not quite. I just it doesn't have enough information to me. It's not a great view. If you go on the left, think of it as an index of all the places you can go in Google Drive or the different ways you can look at Google Drive. There are different lenses. There are different viewpoints. If we click on My Drive, that's the view you want to use very often because that's going to show you everything that you have in your drive. So I click Drive, I can see I've got one folder and I've got a bunch of files. Just a mess. We don't need computers. That's a more advanced feature if you want to install a little piece of Google Drive on your computer. If that's something that you're interested in, hit me up in the comments. Happy to do a video or a live session. Shared with me. We might talk about this in the next few weeks. Because I've seen this come up and people get confused about it. If someone shares a file with you, for instance, this actually is a case that I know of in a school setting. There was a payroll timesheet that for all the instructors to use, and the head administrator said, "I'm going to share that timesheet with you." And that was confusing to a lot of people who hadn't used Google Drive a lot. The link was sent out in an email. So when the instructors received the email, they could click on the link in the email and, they saw the payroll sheet. But when they closed Drive and went back to open Drive, they couldn't find it again because it wasn't stored in My Drive. The only things that are stored in My Drive are the things that you create. Shared with me is when people share things that they've created in their Google Drive. When they send it to you, Google Drive puts it here. We won't go into that too much again unless I get requests. So I want to focus on some basics. My Drive, that's the area that you're really going to want to focus on because that's where you can see all of your files. Now, recent is a real helpful one because it shows you the things that you created or changed most recently. And a lot of times we are going back to Drive to work on something that we haven't finished yet. So recent is a really helpful way to get right back to something that you had just been working on. Starred, we'll look at that a little bit more in the next weeks. But if there's a file that you work on all the time, you can star it. So it's really easy to get to. It's like putting it at the top of the pile. Or it's something you use all the time on your desk. You put it right there on your desk, in a corner. So it's not in the way, but you can get to it quickly. That's what starred is in Google Drive. Spam, we're not going to worry about that right now. That's not really unless you're doing a lot of files from a lot of different people and downloading a lot of stuff from your email into your drive. That's not really a worry that we're going to have right now. Trash is helpful because if you delete a file, it's not gone forever. As you see here, it says, items from the trash will be deleted forever after 30 days. So you've got 30 days to pull it back out of the trash can again. And storage, I don't even need to click on it really because it's showing me right here how much space I have left. And I like the little indicator line here that also kind of gives you an idea. I've got plenty of space. You get up to 15 gig free. So if you're just doing documents, PDFs that you're downloading, you're creating um, lots of typing documents that involve typing or spreadsheets, it'll take you a long time to use up this space. If you start saving a lot of video, you'll use up this space rather quickly. So if you want more space, then you would click get more storage and look at some of the plans that Google has. They're not bad. Uh, and think of the next tier is another 100 gig for, I want to say $2.99 a month, or they have a yearly price too. It might be $20 for the whole year. So going back again, the areas that are most important that you're going to want to use over here: My Drive, which shows you all of your files; Recent, which will show you the files that you have just worked on the most recently; Starred, those are files that you might put a tag on so you can get to them quickly because they're files that are very important to you. Not necessarily, you might not necessarily use them all the time, but they are important and you want to get to them quickly. An example, an invoice. You might not create invoices every day. God bless you if you do. You might be creating them once a month, but you don't want to look for it every time. That might be a document that you would star. So when you're ready to do invoices, get right to them. And trash. You probably won't use that a lot, but it's just good to know if you delete something, you can pull it right out of the trash. So lastly, in this intro to this space, I'm going to go back to My Drive. And let's look at this space just a little bit. The things that are important. Wet the whistle. It's showing all of the files that I've created in Google Drive or uploaded to Google Drive. We're going to talk about that next week. And I'm scrolling down and seeing a bunch of files, First off, all the folders, and this is a common setup, I should say, for file managers. You'll see this in with Apple Manager. You'll see this with Windows File Manager. The folders by default are listed on top. So this is a folder. A folder is a container for files. And we use folders to separate and organize our files in ways that are easy for us to access them later, just like you would in real life. If you have a paper folder, do I have a folder? I don't. But if you have a paper folder and you put papers in them and you have different folders to separate your taxes from your invoices, from your important documents. We use folders to organize our files. Then we have the files listed. The pretty little, colorful little box that's in front of the file name it's a representation of the type of file that is. So blue tends to be files that are text documents. Some of these are Word documents. Do I have any Word documents in here? Yep. So that one with the W is a Word document. I created it in Microsoft Word. This one, this blue one with just the lines, this is a Google Doc. Tends to. It's not hard and fast rule, but tends to. Let's see. With the green, if there's a green icon in front of it, those tend to be spreadsheets. This one is an Excel spreadsheet. And this one with the green box and, let me see, can I blow this up? With the green box and with the little cross is a Google Sheets file. We've got more. These with the little mountains are pictures. all different types of picture files. Let's see, this one happens to be a form that I created in Google. That's another application that Google has, Google Forms. We will not be looking at that. PDFs. Uh, if it's a PDF file, that's red and it says PDF. So this is just kind of a shortcut, a quick glimpse. You don't need to memorize it or anything, but once you start looking at it, once you're looking at these often enough, you can quickly look and see, oh, that's an image without even having to open it. Oh, let's see, that's an image. Oh, that's a spreadsheet. It's just a visual signal. So next to the icon, you have the file name. If it is shared, like this one I'm sharing with somebody, I'll have a couple little people next to it. So if you're sharing a document with somebody, you'll see those little people. The owner, for the most part, the owner is going to be you, the person who created it. Again, this doesn't get important until you are sharing files or other people are sharing files with you. See, this file is shared. I shared it with me, but it's shared because I see the little people next to the file name, and I see the owner is not me, because this is me. Confident Click. How do I know this is me? Because this is me. Up in the upper right corner. This is the account that I am using to look at Google Drive. So while it always shows owner, it's mostly probably not going to be important. Date modified. That's good to know. That's showing you the last time that that file was changed. If it was never changed, then it's showing you the date that it was made. Otherwise, this is the last time it was changed. These files, let me see, how are they organized? This starts with a Y, this starts with a U, this starts with a T, T. Okay, so I can see that this is sorted alphabetically in reverse order, starting with the first letter of the file name. To sort files, you can come up to this row, the row with the column name. The name of this column is name for file name. And if I click next to it, don't click on the word, click next to it. There is an arrow. Sometimes you cannot see it right away, but it's there. If I click on the arrow, then it sorts, it'll resort that column, it'll resort all the files alphabetically, only this time A to Z. Numbers on top though. So it's 0 to 9 and then A to Z. So I can see it. Yep, I have my files with numbers on top, then B, C, 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 D. And if I click the arrow again, goes back, sorts it again, flip flop. Now it's sorting it Z to A. Click it again, A to Z. Helpful when you're looking for files, especially if you know I'm looking for a file that starts with a B, sorted alphabetically. Another really useful sort is by date. So I'm not going to click on the word date or modified. I'm going to click to the right of it, just to the right of it. I'm going to click there. And now, see, the arrow has popped up. It wasn't there before, but the arrow for the sorting arrow popped up, and it's letting me know it has sorted everything from newest to oldest. This was created last modified February 14th. This file was modified January 21st, and that's of this year because it's not showing me a year. That's a shortcut that Google does or Google Drive does. If it's for this year, it doesn't show you the year. But if I scroll down, now I can get into last year. I can see, okay, this is the last file for 2026, and now we're going back into 2025, and it's sorting from newest to oldest. If I don't know the name of the file, but I know I did it in August, sometimes it's helpful to sort by date. See, I've got 2 files that I did in August. Oh, this must be the one. If I click that arrow again, next to date modified, Now I'm sorting it again. And from the top, it's sorting by oldest to newest. It sorts folders separately than files. If I had more than one folder here, it would sort those first. And then it sorts the files. That's why this folder is sitting on top. Because this folder is not the oldest. This folder was just created. And it's going straight into old files. It's because folders and files are considered separate. I'm sorry, not Word. Windows does this too. Sorts the folders and then the files. So this is my oldest file in here, from May 2025. And if I keep scrolling down, it gets newer and newer. So that's just helpful to know. We're going to wrap it up here because I don't want to go into too much. These three dots, we are going to look at those next week. And you see it says more actions. There's more action to come. But consider this just an overview of the space. So now that we've looked at the landscape, we are looking at the table and we're seeing what the table setting looks like, and we've got a bowl and a plate and a knife and fork and spoon. So that bowl lets me know we're gonna get some soup, and we got a knife in the setting, so we're gonna have something that we have to cut. We're just looking at the table setting. Next week we're gonna put some food on these plates and eat it. But we know we have an idea of what the tool is that we're going to use. Um, if you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I really want to work on what are the things that are useful to you. Leave me questions, leave me comments, um, leave me suggestions, leave me uh, things, statements of things that you want to know about, even if you don't think it might be covered in this or it might be off topic. Let me know. I'm happy to look at it. So that's all for session 1 for Google Drive, our Google Drive workshop. Take some time, look around your Google Drive. Make sure you can log in, make sure you can get to your Google Drive, just like we just did, and get yourself mentally ready for the next session where we are going to put it in just a little bit of work and see what it takes to make some order out of this chaos, out of just a bunch of files just dumped into one place. We're gonna put a little order to it, just a little bit. We're not gonna make it overwhelming, but we're gonna start with a system that's simple, that is doable, that you're not gonna feel like, um, yeah, that sounds great, but I just don't want to wrap my head around it. It's gonna be simple. All right, so I will catch you all on the live next Thursday, 7 o'clock. See you there.